Hello, everybody.
Hello.
If you are trying to listen to a show that is not Super Breakfast Friends Club, then I have some terrible news for you.
Turn back now.
This is, in fact, Super Breakfast Friends Club.
Abandon hope, ye who enter here.
I'm Mike.
I'm not.
And this time, we had a discussion because we considered moving straight on to the next episode of Captain N.
Unprecedented.
Yeah, to conclude the two-parter, to conclude the cliffhanger, because nobody would see it coming.
Yeah.
But then we looked at what the next episode was, and we saw that it was Mega Man focused, and then we just kind of wanted to watch Mega Man.
So here we are, part 2 of the cliffhanger.
Play the theme song.
Fighting robot, Mega Man. Super fighting robot, Mega Man. Super fighting robot, Mega Man. Super fighting robot. Mega Man, super fighting robot. Mega Man, super fighting robot. Mega Man, fighting to save the world.
I forgot how terrible the theme song is.
Oh, the theme song's so bad, but every time I watch it, I remember that there's like 2 seconds of footage from what this show was originally supposed to be in here somewhere, so I just sit here looking for it.
I just get the only lyric stuck in my head forever.
Which one?
Super fighting robot.
Oh, Mega Man!
Yeah, that guy.
He's cool. This isn't him.
No, this is a guy that looks kind of like Mega Man.
This is Mega Man. This is bad box art Mega Man is what it is.
No, that's the one that we saw when he meets X.
No, that's a spoiler. We haven't watched that episode yet.
Darn it.
We watched the 3rd episode, which is called Mega Pinocchio. I wonder if that was too subtle.
I didn't pick up on the theme of this episode at all, so I don't think.
It was written by Michael Moore, I think that's how you pronounce it, who started his career writing Dynamite Dog Wonder.
Ooh.
I don't even know what that show is, except that I watched the Scooby-Doo movie that crossed over with it the other day.
What?
Yeah, the most recent animated Scooby-Doo movie. The one that's just called Scoob.
Why is he crossing over with a show that I've never heard of?
Because, I don't know, they decided they wanted to do a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe and then they immediately abandoned it because the first movie didn't perform great. Scoob is a crossover between Scooby-Doo and Dynamite, also Dick Dastardly is the villain.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But Michael Moore wasn't involved in that movie.
Is that the one where Shaggy went to hell?
Yeah, that is the one where Shaggy went to hell. Yeah, you went there for it, were you?
No.
It was great. But it wasn't very good. Anyway, he also wrote for a bunch of shows that we're going to look at.
Uh-oh.
We haven't seen any of his contributions yet, but he wrote for Saturday Supercade. He wrote for Captain N. He wrote for the Mario 3 show. And then many, many years later, he wrote for Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures.
Oh, no.
So we'll see plenty of his work.
I was gonna say, all things considered, this episode, it wasn't horrible. There was some writing in it that I was genuinely like, huh, okay.
You think?
I don't think it was good, but like, I think it was funny. I think some of their jokes landed.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I'll give you that one.
It doesn't have a compelling plot, but there were some parts where I was like, that's the direction I would have taken it, and he did it, the crazy bastard.
I had a lot to say about this episode. I think it was maybe shooting for something that it didn't really have the scope to cover.
I'm sorry, you think that this did not do a good job of explaining the existential dread of a robot becoming human?
Well, I mean, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
We'll get to talking about Dr. Pedo.
Please don't say that.
It's his name. That's what they chose to name him.
It's unfortunate to say that name. So it's Dr. Peto for everyone listening. It's an unfortunate name to say in an American accent.
But it's an American show.
I know. Why didn't they think about it? This episode aired September 25th, 1994, when we were but children.
But children.
That too. We open up with Ringman arriving at some kind of factory. It's never really explained what kind of factory this is.
Ringman's a fucking dweeb.
He's just riding up on this sick hoverboard.
And then all he does is throw rings.
And his voice is so dumb.
Yeah.
Every line he says, he sounds like... What does he sound like?
He sounds like somebody doing an impression of a bad guy.
He sounds to me like someone doing an impression of a teenager.
Step aside. It's time for Ringman to do his ring thing.
A bad teenager.
He is played by, you'll never guess,
Who?
is Gary Chalk.
Gary!
What are you doing,
What are you doing, Gary?
Oh, I love Gary Chalk.
Oh, but why is he Ringman?
I don't know. He was Gutsman in this show, I believe.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I think he played Brightman in the other episode too. We mostly love him as Grounder in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's my favorite of his roles ever.
Yeah.
He also played Robotnik in Sonic Underground. I think a little less good, but, you know. And of course, he's King Hippo and Donkey Kong and the Count in Captain N. So we talked about him last week.
We just saw them.
We did. We got to see Grounder again. I miss that guy.
You just want to look at his butt.
Why did they always draw his butt?
It's so well sculpted.
Eggman made that butt in his own image, I think.
He made that butt with love.
So Ringman debuted in Mega Man 4 and was one of the robots built by Dr. Cossack to defeat Mega Man and take over the world.
Oh no. What's he doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. Dr. Cossack doesn't appear in this show. I checked ahead and he doesn't. He's not even mentioned, I don't think. So presumably this version of Ringman was built by Dr. Wily instead.
Yeah, that seems to be what they're implying.
I think that's the case for all these Robot Masters, because Cutman and Gutsman were Dr. Light's robots in the games, but I don't think they are here. I can't remember. It's funny to think about. Like, we're so used to Cutman and Gutsman being enemies, but they're actually Mega Man's brothers, I guess. They're his
Why
pals.
did he beat him up then?
Because Dr. Wily took him over. Like he does in this episode with all the Dr. Light robots.
I always knew that Cutman was up to no good.
He is always in a bad mood. It does say that.
I guess if I was Scissors, I'd be angry about it.
And he hates rocks. It says that too in his profile.
Loves paper, hates rocks. And he is Rock Man.
Oh, that's true. He is Rockman. And I think Cutman is the only Robot Master across the entire series that's weak to the Mega Buster, which is presumably called the Rockbuster in Japan. So I love that so Ringman arrives and there's this security guard who's like really friendly with him for some reason.
Careful, Sonny. There's 10,000 volts of electricity in that fence.
Yeah, this hooligan teen has just rolled up and been like, hey, how do I get to the other side? And he's like, oh, you'd have to do this really specific thing that I'll tell you all about.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, careful, buddy. Don't touch the fence. It's really strong. It's 10,000 volts in that fence. So yeah, once the guard helpfully gives him instructions on disabling the electric fence, Ringman uses his ring boomerang to slice the guard's gun in half. And I liked seeing the ring boomerang because not many of the Robot Masters in this show actually use their real weapons from the games, but that one did. It functioned pretty much the same way that it does in the games. So that was neat.
Yeah.
And then Gutsman shows up to help break in.
Yeah, now that the fence isn't electric, he can just smash right through the wall.
Yeah, and like, I feel like he could have opened that door. He didn't need to fully remove it from the hinges.
We don't know. Maybe it's security locked.
Maybe. Not anymore, it's not.
No.
So here's Dr. Petto.
Dr. Pedo.
Short for Geppetto, in case this episode is not subtle.
No, not really.
He's working on a robot in here. He's played by Terry Klassen, who is also the voice of Cutman. He also played Elecman, Bombman, and Iceman in the first episode. And he's also the voice of Quirk in Video Power.
Oh,
Remember
I forgot
Video
about
Power?
that show. Not really.
Oh, we should watch Video Power again soon.
Oh, it was so bad.
What a show it was. It sure was on television.
What a rogues gallery.
Gutsman grabs Dr. Petto. Cutman is here now too. Just kind of there. I think this is the first episode in the series where he doesn't use the line, "I'll make paper dolls out of you."
Good. It's not good. Getting old, Cutman. I like Dr. Pedo because he's just like, oh, it's a big, strong robot. I wonder what you're made of.
Yeah, also, I don't think he gets out much because he is not familiar with any of these presumably world-famous robots that are constantly fighting on the news.
Oh no, he's trapped in the lab, existing only as a man.
Hey, that's a spoiler. You can't say that on television.
You're just gonna have to bleep it out so it sounds like I did a really big cuss word.
I know you know those. I know you know the longest cuss words that are out there.
The biggest and the best.
This is where Mega Man and Rush arrive. I forgot that Rush just like speaks like Scooby-Doo in this show.
Me too.
Exactly like Scooby-Doo. Why did everyone decide that that's how a dog would talk?
It's worse than Scooby-Doo though, because I understood him fine here, but whenever he's doing the commercial bumpers, I have no idea what he says.
Mega, right back. Messages.
It's just kind of growling.
You can tell he's saying words, but I don't know what they are.
Mm-mm.
Ringman wants to fight Mega Man, but Rush, so he throws the ring boomerang and Rush just fetches it and then he just becomes a projectile.
Yeah, because it's still boomeranging back, but now there's a dog attached to it.
Yeah, so Rush just knocks Ringman down. And Ringman,
Doesn't get back up.
that's where Mega Man steals his power.
Oh no!
And he uses the ring boomerang to trap Cutman under the foot of a robot pterosaur.
That's there for some reason.
And then what I thought was even more confusing, there's just like this entire shelf of cans labeled titanium glue.
Yeah!
And he slices them all open and the glue spills out all over the floor. And then Gutsman steps in it, but he's so strong that all it does is he just like rips the entire floor out as it's stuck to
Right,
his
now
foot
he's just got some big shoes.
and he just falls out of a doorway. And that's just the end of him, I guess.
He's too embarrassed to come back in.
He's out there trying to scrape it's like he's scraping gum off his shoe, but it's a huge chunk of sidewalk.
Oh, what did I step in? I'll never get this off.
Oh, I stepped in the factory floor.
It's gonna be sticky forever. It's like a cinema floor in here.
Rush transforms into Rush Jet mode, and there's like this transformation sequence that plays out, and I swear he turns into like video game design anime Rush just for that sequence.
Maybe.
Like
Just sneak it in there.
he's like more chibi and he's got more anime eyes just during that sequence. I wonder if they animated that before the art style changed and they just were like, we'll get away with using that.
Nobody will notice.
We talked about it before, but there was a pilot of this show that looked like the games. I'm still sad that that's not what we got.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah. So Mega Man takes Dr. Petto back to Dr. Light's lab, where things take a turn for the bizarre.
Immediately.
Okay, so Dr. Petto tells them about his work in bionic genetics and that he has figured out how to turn robots into humans. And the wildest part about all this to me is that Dr. Light just kind of like accepts it, even though it's really stupid and Dr. Light is supposed to be smart. So I'm headcanoning that Dr. Light is just humoring this guy.
I think that might be the case because later he's like, I should have known. All that hogwash he was spewing, I should have known he was a robot.
It's dumb. This whole thing, this whole idea is dumb.
It is. He tries to convince Mega Man to become a real boy. And he's like, do you even know what happiness is if you can't smell flowers?
Okay, so, yeah, he's offering to turn Mega Man into a human. And this raises so many questions for me that I wish hadn't been raised. Because thinking about this stuff makes me uncomfortable.
Like what?
Like, we learn here that Mega Man can't feel anything, you know? If he smells a flower, he doesn't have any feelings about that. If he sees a pretty girl, he doesn't have any feelings about that. We're told this.
Yeah.
And, like, no one refutes it. And
well, like, the way I think of it is, like, he doesn't have smell receptors, which makes sense. But, like, why would you need them?
I 100% guarantee that there's a part in this show where he smells something. Yeah, we've probably already seen it. I did think when he says, like, if you were human, you would feel something when you saw a pretty girl. I remembered at the very beginning of the first episode, when he sees Roll for the first time, the first thing he says is, wow, she's pretty.
But he didn't feel anything.
He didn't feel anything.
That's the takeaway. But I mean, that kind of makes sense.
It was just an objective analysis.
Yeah, it's a very utilitarian robot. He doesn't need to get bogged down with all these feelings.
So Dr. Light refuses on Mega Man's behalf immediately. He's like, oh, Mega Man doesn't need to be human. He's perfectly good as a robot. And Mega Man agrees. But then, like, immediately changes his mind and becomes dissatisfied with his life as a robot.
It was the question about happiness that really got him. And I'm like, why?
He got asked to define happiness. And he's like, huh, you know what? You're right. I don't know how to feel happiness.
But does a human?
I feel like this is a concept. If you put this in, like, a Cowboy Bebop or, like, a Ghost in the Shell, this would be a really interesting, like, this could be one of my favorite things.
Right.
The exploration of this
concept. It's an interesting question to bring up, but you need to have the ability to do something about it.
Yeah, and this show does not have that ability. And that's the reason I wish that they just hadn't brought any of this up, because now we're kind of left with these lingering questions that aren't answered and aren't resolved. And now every time I watch this show, I'm going to think about how Mega Man doesn't know what happiness is.
He's clearly intelligent enough, and he has his own set of morals, which seem to align positively. Like, he knows what happiness is, but he just doesn't know what being human is like. He's content with his role as a super fighting robot, and he likes his sister and his weird dad. Maybe he just doesn't have the dopamine that makes him feel it, but, like, I think he's doing okay.
Yeah, alright. Alright, okay. Well, anyway,
We need to see him as a human, miserable, just drowning in existential dread.
He doesn't need to. I don't want to see him as a human. I just don't want to think that he's, you know, he's supposed to be the first self-aware robot, right? Isn't that the whole point?
Is Proto Man not self-aware?
I don't know. That's a good question. I know it's an important plot point that Mega Man is the first self-aware robot, but isn't Roll the same age as him? Anyway, that night Mega Man sneaks out and goes to Dr. Petto and asks to become human. So Petto shuts Mega Man down to start the operation and is immediately revealed to be a robot built by Dr. Wily.
Right. He removes Mega Man's brain, and then Dr. Wily comes in and he yoinks it away. He's like, "Thank you, robot henchman."
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like Dr. Petto was Dr. Wily in disguise, or was just like a guy that Wily was blackmailing to do this. But he's a straight up robot.
Right, because Wily appears in the background behind him holding something, and I thought it was a gun, but it's just the controls that made him go to sleep.
Yeah. He is the most advanced robot that anyone's ever built, and it's Dr. Wily that did it, I guess. He's completely believable as a human.
Yeah.
Wily and Proto Man are here now, and they install a mind control chip in Mega Man. So when Mega Man when Mega Man goes woke, when Mega Man wakes up, Dr. Petto is there, awake again, and tells him the operation was a success and he's human now. Mega Man is still clearly, visibly a robot.
That's, like, I understand how, like, the mind control could make him think that he's human. Like, maybe he even sees himself with flesh and blood. But then when he goes and sees Dr. Light, and he's like, "I'm a real boy," and he's still clearly a robot?
Yeah, I wonder if this is another case of the writers not knowing what the characters were going to look like when they wrote this. Maybe they thought he was going to look more like a human boy.
Dr. Petto is completely fine as a human.
Yeah, he passes. So Petto has Mega Man sniff a rose to prove that he's human. And at the same time, Wily, who's watching with a camera, I don't know where this camera is. He can see everything.
It's in the ceiling. Apparently this is his secret laboratory, so why not?
Yeah, I guess so. But he also seems to have them in Light's laboratory and... Anyway, while Mega Man sniffs the rose, Wily uses his gamer headset to tell Mega Man how he feels about the rose. And then Mega Man just repeats that, including the German accent.
You feel all mushy and tingly inside.
I feel all mushy and tingly inside.
I thought that was funny. I thought that was going to be what gave it away, because Mega Man says something with "und" in it.
Yeah.
And then Light would be like, "Hey, wait a minute."
I like how simple this plan is.
Right.
Like, I guess Mega Man doesn't know what it's like to be human, so he's just like, oh, that's what it is to be human. You just have a German internal monologue that tells you how you feel about things.
Right. Weird that my internal monologue sounds exactly like Dr. Wily, but I mean, I guess all humans have that.
Back home, Mega Man announces to his family that he's a real human boy now, and Dr. Light and Roll just immediately accept that as the truth.
Dr. Petto turned me into a real human boy.
Why, that's incredible, Mega. Absolutely amazing. You must tell me what it feels like.
Yeah, Mega, tell us. Do you feel all tingly inside or what?
Oh, good for you, Mega Man.
Yeah, the only way this makes sense to me is, again, if Dr. Light is just kind of like going along with it, you know? It's just
That's
like,
kind of how it felt to me.
he'll
like,
grow out of
Dr.
it.
Light's, yeah, Dr. Light's like, "Oh, my stupid little robot son thinks he's a human now. Isn't that cute?"
I don't know. I do feel like they've written this earnestly, with Light just kind of like believing it. But if that was the case, I feel like if Mega Man came in and announced that, Light would just be like, "What?
Why are you still robot then?
Get on the table. I'm going to take a look at this. Roll, bring my wrench set and a power drill.
Is this skintanium? I don't understand.
Oh, you're human, are you? Show me your penis. Anyway, an alarm goes off. Dr. Wily's robots are attacking the Sky Tower skyscraper.
No! What is the significance of this?
I don't know.
It's never established, but they sure make a big stink out of it.
There's a lot that happens. So Mega Man and Rush leave. Light considers sending help, so Roll leaves immediately.
This I thought was funny. He's like, I should send backup. And Roll's like, oh, you mean me? I'm right on it. She speeds out. And Light's like, no, I meant the squadron of robots.
You're supposed to be mopping!
I thought that was cute.
It
I
was.
had a giggle.
I do like Roll in this show. I think she's maybe a little bit more interesting than she is in the games. Because in the games, her whole thing is just like she's the sweet girl.
Right.
And that's it. That's all she's really got going for her. I like this more action. She's like, she really wants to fight.
Yeah, like every episode, she's like, come on, put me in the game, coach.
Yeah. What about Brie Ricotta?
What about her?
All right. First of all, she's played by Robin Ross, who also plays Roll. I think she's a good actress. I really like her as Roll and as Brie Ricotta. She does a great job.
Yeah.
This seems like a really useful character for them to have. Like the news reporter. You know, any action show like this, I feel like you need a news reporter character.
Right, because there's always crazy things going on when there's robots afoot.
Apparently she only appears in 3 episodes, and this is her biggest role.
Okay.
So, criminally underused, I think. I love everything about her. I think she looks great. I love her attitude. I love that she's named like a chef from the Ace Attorney series. I don't know why she has a cheese-themed name.
But I love it.
It's great.
Like, they're probably just thinking of names and they're like, Brie, that sounds like a cheese. Let's give her a funny last name.
Yeah, they were probably just hungry. We need a name for the reporter. It's almost lunchtime. I don't know, Brie Ricotta.
Sandwich. Takeout.
I just call her McDonald Chipotle.
Big Mac. That's a good name. Quarter pounder.
During the carnage at the skyscraper, there's one shot of Sparkman attacking the police, but that's it.
Yeah,
Did you see him?
I did. Like, at first I was like, is that Crashman? Because Crashman is here.
And they do kind of look similar. I had the same thought, but no, I checked. It's definitely Sparkman. Yeah, I wonder if they just needed like an extra second of footage to fill out the episode and they just grabbed this from another one. I don't know.
Maybe. Like, just have Crashman throw bombs at something else.
Yeah, but then they have to animate something else.
Oh, no.
So yeah, that's Sparkman. He doesn't have any lines. He has a bigger role in another episode, so we'll talk about him for real then.
Okay.
There's more of a focus on Magnet Man and Crash Man, who both only appear in this episode.
Yeah, we noticed that when we were looking into this last week, that there's a lot of robots that just show up for one episode or like 2 and then never seen again.
Yeah. For the most part, Cutman and Gutsman, I think, are in almost every episode, maybe even every episode. And I think most of the Mega Man 1 Robot Masters do show up as recurring characters, except Fireman for some reason. Maybe because Fireman is kind of hard to draw.
I just think it's funny that one of their biggest recurring characters is Snake Man.
Yes, and Snake Man. Snake Man is one of the most recurring ones, apparently.
Snake Man, one of my personal favorites, because he has the dumbest power.
What does he do again? I can't remember.
He shoots snakes at you!
Oh, of course he does. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't remember that. I don't know who my favorite is. I got a bunch of favorites.
Cool.
I like Shadow Man a lot.
He's not Shadow the Hedgehog, Mike. They're different people.
Well, I don't like Shadow the Hedgehog that much. He's fine. Magnet Man and Crash Man are both played by Terry Klassen, who also played Dr. Petto.
Dr. Petto.
So he's like all of the one-off characters here. Magnet Man debuted in Mega Man 3 and was a robot built by Dr. Light and Dr. Wily working together during a brief period where Wily pretended to reform.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he claimed to turn over a new leaf, and then he and Dr. Light worked together to build a whole new series of robots. And then Wily took them all and tried to take over the world again. And Crash Man is from Mega Man 2, and he was a robot built by Dr. Wily. He was one of the first batch of robots that Dr. Wily actually built himself, instead of just stealing from someone else. Because Dr. Wily isn't that great at building robots. He doesn't do it very often. Most of the robots that work for Dr. Wily are actually somebody else's robots.
I just went on a side quest.
Oh, yeah?
I wanted to know who is weak to snakes. And it is Gemini Man.
Oh, I like Gemini Man too. He's twice.
Yeah, twice weak to snakes. He's got a double weakness.
Magnet Man never uses his magnet missile in this show. Instead, he just kind of holds his hands out and he's tearing steel beams out of the building, I guess.
Yeah, he just is magnets.
Crash Man uses what basically function the same as his crash bomber weapon, but he calls them time bombs.
Yeah, they don't seem to be on any kind of timer, though.
No. And I believe Time Bomb is the weapon of another Robot Master. I want to say Time Man is probably the guy, but I don't remember.
Who built a Chronomancer robot lord?
What, you're telling me you wouldn't?
I probably would, but I would also be a mad scientist. Why are we giving so much power to these clearly mad scientists?
I know, it's like Dr. Wily is a more traditional mad scientist, but we're pretending that Dr. Light isn't also a mad scientist.
He's just a kindly one, but
yeah, that's
is.
all it is. He's exactly as mad as Dr. Wily. He's just
a doctor
sweet
or
about
Professor
it.
Farnsworth.
That's exactly what he is. I want a more comedic take on Mega Man that leans into that.
That would be good.
The Mega Man shows up riding the Rush Jet, and he snatches the bombs out of the air. But then Wily gets on his headset and tells Mega Man that he's afraid of dropping them, causing him to casually drop them.
Yeah, he's like, I should be careful or I'll drop these bombs, and immediately drops them.
He just puts them down in the air.
But this also raised a question of why would Mega Man ever consider being a human and be burdened with all these terrible emotions?
Well, I think that's what he starts worrying about at this point, right? So he drops the bombs. They blow up a hole in the building, which then starts to just topple.
Yeah, it hits the center of it, and it starts to fall like a tree that's been cut.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why. And then Bree blames all of the damage on Mega Man, which led me to question whether she is also a Dr. Wily robot, because it's very clear that it wasn't his fault.
She could be. Apparently, they're out there among us.
Yeah. And then I don't know what the plan was here, because Cutman is using a helicopter to try to airlift the building itself.
Yeah, I don't understand. What? Who cares about this building? Why are they trying to take an entire building? Is it full of diamonds?
And then, nothing comes of that. Nothing comes of that, because it just crumbles anyway.
It's so weird.
So Dr. Light shows up here with his helper robots, and somehow he gets here before Roll, which I thought was really funny.
You know what I thought was funny? As Cutman is trying to airlift the building out, Mega Man rides Rush, like, to the building and then runs like a creepy cat man up the side of it.
Did you notice the neighboring building? The SPT equals building?
I don't think I paid that much attention, no.
Yeah, the building across the street. When we see the crowd freaking out, there's a building across the street and the sign just says SPT equals.
What does it equal?
I don't know. What does it mean? So, oh yeah, Mega Man faces down Gutsman, and it seems like he's preparing to, like, kill him for real.
I've had enough of this nonsense.
Yeah, it's like, time to finish you off. But then Wily stops him by telling him to feel bad about it. And I'm like, okay, that's the one thing where I'm like, yeah, Wily, that was probably the right thing to do.
Now that he thinks he's a human, he's acquired a bloodlust.
Talked him out of murder. Good job.
Oh, that's my favorite robot.
Also, I did notice in this episode, Mega Man is now correctly calling him Gutsman, but Brie Ricotta is still calling him Gutsman.
Gutsman. Mega Man.
Yeah, how come she gets Mega Man right, but it's Gutsman? Like, wouldn't you realize that those are connected?
No.
Gutsman.
No, you wouldn't.
Because I feel like Mega Man was only doing it for Gutsman. He was saying Cutman, but then he was saying Gutsman.
Maybe it's just the letters, you know? Because there's the S, so it nicely smooths out into Gutsman.
Gutsman.
Because Gutsman, it takes a little bit more to say, you know?
Yeah, it takes guts, man.
Yeah.
All right, I hear you. I'm picking up what you're stepping in.
Why? Put that down. We don't know where it's been.
Someone's got to dispose of it. And you didn't pick up after yourself.
Don't we have robot masters for that?
Is there a poop scooping robot master?
Listen, there's a lot of weird robots with weird jobs out there.
That's probably part of Dustman's job.
Right.
The building crumbles to dust. All through this episode, Dr. Light is referring to Mega Man as just Mega, and every time he says it, I hear Megan.
You'll always be special to me, Megan.
Every time.
That's just because we've ruined the name for ourselves.
Well, because I keep calling him Megan Man.
Yes, because you named your chicken Megan Man like 5 years ago. No, it was like 7 years ago now. We never
Stardew
forgot
Valley. Yeah. Whenever I have a chicken to name, I call it Megan Man to this day.
Dumb.
Brie Ricotta confronts Dr. Light angrily, blaming him for everything, despite the fact that Dr. Wily's robots unambiguously did all the bad things.
Right. They're the ones that tried to steal a building and launch the bombs, but because Mega Man dropped the bombs that were launched, she's like, clearly this is Dr. Light's fault.
Yeah, Mega Man dropped the bombs and Dr. Light's robots didn't do enough to stop the building crumbling, so she's like, this was all your fault. I wonder if anyone died. It's not made clear if everyone got out or if anyone died.
No, she said, like, in the very beginning that everybody... I thought it was hilarious because she's like, thankfully, the building has been evacuated. As you see people in the background running out screaming.
Oh. Okay, I missed that. Man, I want someone to die. No one ever dies in these shows.
No, this is an early morning kids show. You gotta wait until the late night stuff for that.
We gotta watch more of the live action Mortal Kombat if we want death and destruction.
We need to have a late night, Nick at Night breakfast friends club, dinner friends club.
Super Pajama Friends Club.
You can be in your pajamas in the morning. I
guess,
am.
Yeah, I guess I am too. All right. I was thinking more like a sleepover, you know?
Could be super sleepover friends club.
All your friends come over and you put on the movie that your parents wouldn't let you watch, but your friend's parents does let them watch.
Yeah, your friends' parents who are totally checked out and they don't care what their kid consumes.
Yeah, you watch Die Hard and you're 7 years old.
Die Hard's not even that bad of a movie for a 7-year-old.
But you learn all the bad words.
You learn to say the MF word.
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps.
I forgot about that.
I could never. That lives rent-free in my head forever.
Everybody Google Mr. Falcon and find a stranger in the Alps if you don't know what we're talking about.
TV redubs.
Dr. Light is salvaging the parts from his rescue robots that were destroyed in the attack, and he gives Mega Man a pep talk about being human. And I felt like I was losing my mind. Why are you treating him like he's human? You know he's not.
He wants him to work through it on his own.
Yeah, maybe that is what it is. That's the only thing that makes sense. Now that you've said that you think that Dr. Light was just like humoring all this, I'm thinking about the scene later where he's sitting alone in his office and he's like musing about maybe he wouldn't want to be human if I didn't give him self-determination.
Right.
Like, yeah, he's not sitting there on his own thinking like maybe he wouldn't have become a human. He's like, maybe he wouldn't want to. And that does imply to me, now that I think about it again, that he doesn't think that Mega Man's human, but he thinks that Mega Man wants to be human.
Right. He thinks that Mega Man thinks that he's human.
Yeah. In which, if that is what they were doing on purpose, then that's good. I wish they'd made it clearer.
Yeah, we're still not sure if that's actually what they did or if Light is just dumb.
Yeah. Either Dr. Light is an idiot or he's very smart, but I don't know which one it is.
It's unclear, as it often is with these types.
Mega Man's worried that he was a mistake, which Dr. Light tries to reassure him about.
I thought this part was funny too, because Mega Man is so busy being distressed about it. And Dr. Light's like, oh, Mega Man, you aren't a mistake. But he turns around and Mega Man's already gone.
Yeah.
Like, Dr. Light has never done anything to communicate that he feels Mega Man should be human, is a mistake. It's just Mega Man doesn't stick around long enough to hear his fatherly wisdom.
Yeah, Mega Man. Also, in this scene, Mega Man seems to imply that he thinks he's like only half robot now.
Yeah,
and not
that was
fully
weird.
human. He's like, there's some conflict between his human half and his robot half, and maybe he needs to be all of one or the other. I'm like, I thought you were all human now.
So I think maybe what he was dealing with is that he has the voice of Dr. Wily in his head, and he still has like his own thoughts.
Oh, so he like thinks that Wily's voice is his human half?
I think that's what they're trying to imply. Like later when he's like, there's so many voices in my head.
That's true, yeah.
It's not clear, but...
I like Proto Man just kind of like getting bored with the whole plan at this point.
When do they get to the fireworks factory?
Yeah. Dr. Light's worry here is that maybe it was a mistake to give robots self-determination because that's, in his mind, what's leading Mega Man to want to become human. I don't think that Light is seriously thinking this.
Right.
I don't think he's actually considering removing free will from his robots. I think he's just worrying about his son.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to figure out, like, what is making him have these thoughts.
Yeah.
Not so he can remove them, but so he can address them.
Yeah. And he's sort of blaming himself. He's like, oh, it's my fault for making these robots so smart.
Right.
But Mega Man overhears it and decides that means he was a mistake after all. At which point, Wily tells him he needs to go reprogram all of Light's robots to remove their self-determination.
That part was a little bit convenient, because, as you were saying, Proto Man is getting bored, and Dr. Wily's like, oh, we need to wait until he does something for me. And then he just kind of overhears this, and he's like, I guess that's what we'll do.
Woobity boobity boo! That's what we'll do!
Wobble wobble whoa!
Now we get the obligatory Dr. Light catches someone in his lab doing something that happens in every episode.
Someone turn the lights off. Dr. Wily shows up.
Yeah, I did write in my notes here, Light catches Mega Man in his lab with the lights off. Which isn't exactly what happens, but it should have been.
It was such a big plot point in the last episode.
The last 2 episodes. I think they both did it.
I don't remember the first one. That was too long ago.
I just think every episode should have a scene where Dr. Light turns on the lights in his lab and finds Dr. Wily in there, and then Wily runs away and gets away. So this is where Mega Man sort of goes crazy.
Yeah.
At this point, like, the stuff he's doing, I was kind of like, I don't know, this is stretching my suspension of disbelief. Because
Right.
we're shown that what he's doing isn't exactly mind control. It's more like subliminal messaging.
Yeah, he seems to be fully in control in this scene.
Yeah, the stuff he's doing, I'm like, I can't reconcile this with that idea. Because he drops his father, his sister, and his dog into a trash compactor. And then Dr. Wily shows up and is like, turn on the trash compactor, Mega Man. And Mega Man just does it. It's like, it doesn't feel subliminal here. It just feels like straight up mind control.
He dropped them in the trash compactor, yes. But it was Dr. Wily who made him turn it on.
Yeah, but that's what I'm like. This is where it goes from just being subliminal messages to being actual mind control.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Which is not what it has been up until this point, and isn't what it seems to be later on either. Like, it's just this scene. This scene is the one scene where it's straight up mind control.
Yeah. He's so angry about it, too.
Yeah, but it's okay that they're in the trash compactor because Dr. Light reprograms a robot hand to act like Thing.
I loved it. It was so stupid and made no sense.
I have a big question.
Yeah.
Why was Ringman wiping himself down? Because the hand is crawling out, and we cut to Ringman, who spots the hand. But when he spots the hand, he's got like this yellow rag, and he's just wiping himself with it.
I don't know. Maybe he's polishing his rings.
He was like wiping his face and stuff.
Wiping his arm.
Like, oh, I wish I didn't have these sweat circuits.
Couldn't make me a real boy, but made me real sweaty, real nice.
I guess that is what I asked for.
Is this what you wanted, Mega Man? To be a sweaty, awkward teen?
Oh yeah, he's the one with the teen voice. Ringman spots the robo thing and has a fight with it, which Thing wins. This whole time, I guess Dr. Light is controlling the robot hand with a touch-tone phone from the 80s.
Yeah.
That I guess was
As
also
one
in
does.
the trash compactor.
I think he had that on his person.
Oh, did he?
And he like reprogrammed the hand when he asks for a hand. And Roll's like, I can't do anything. He's like, no, you idiot. Give me the hand you're standing on.
Any hand will do. Luckily, I always carry my obsolete touch-tone phone.
He's a robot master. He has to be able to master robots at any time.
So the robot thing opens the trash compactor, and Light and Roll escape by riding on the rush jet into space.
Yeah.
Proto Man tries to shoot them down, but he misses.
What a loser.
And Wily's just like, whatever, what are they gonna do?
That's why he's not the favorite son.
It's a crazy old man and a girl and a dog. So Light and Roll run into Pato's lab to speak with him, and he's just here, inactive. Like, I guess this whole place is just abandoned now.
Yeah, this whole elaborate thing was just a setup.
It's so... Right, let's run over it for a second, can we?
Please.
So Dr. Wily built this robot. He's a robot maker.
Yes.
And programmed him with this full, like, backstory that he has done all this science. Like, he was showing them the science on a computer.
Right.
He'd done a lot of work to make it look legit. He's, like, got this whole backstory that he is turning robots into humans. And then I guess Wily, like, rented a lab to put him in, to station him
Hired security.
in. Hired security.
Staged a fake break-in with his own robots.
Which the security were not in on, clearly.
No.
And then, staged that whole break-in specifically to get Mega Man to show up and take the robot home.
Right, why did he take it back to the lab?
So that it could give him the information. And then the robot just went back to its own lab to hang out and wait in the hopes that Mega Man would take the bait. It's very elaborate.
Do you think Dr. Pedo doesn't know that he's a robot and he thinks he's a human conducting all this research to turn robots into humans?
Oh, and he thinks it's all real.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my new headcanon. And the only reason he's not still working on it right now is because Wily left him turned off.
Yeah.
And he never gets turned back on again.
No, they solved the problem without him. They just leave him to die.
Yeah.
They probably scrap him after this.
Yeah, when they get here, Roll runs up and like tries to shake him. And he just falls to the ground and she's like, he's a robot!
Why didn't I notice his creepy metal skin? I thought he was just old.
Dr. Light finds the chips that Wily used to control Mega Man. And he starts working to undo it, to find the signal that they work on, I guess.
Yeah, so that he can tune into it and be the voice of Mega Man's internal conscious.
Meanwhile, Dr. Wily loads all of Light's robots into a helicopter and heads for Washington, D.C.
He sure does!
But I was wondering what your reaction was to all of these real American landmarks suddenly appearing.
Like, I mean, going to DC, we've seen that so many times, but something about seeing the statue of Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial himself, I was like, well, okay, this is weird.
Yeah, because what we see the White House, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it just the White House and the Lincoln Memorial that we see? I don't know the landmarks as well as you would.
You would think that I would know them, but I don't go to DC a lot. I don't like going to DC.
Fair.
I think it is just those two.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Dr. Light gets a call from the Secretary of Defense begging him to stop attacking the Capitol.
He's like, I don't know what you want, but stop it!
Yeah, it's really funny. It's like, Dr. Light, please! What's happening?
Please make your demands known. Why are you doing this?
Because that's I guess that's the whole plan, is that Dr. Wily wants everyone to think that Dr. Light's doing it. But then
He flies in his Wily jet?
he flies in his Wily copter, yeah. But also, what's the plan? You know? Because at some point he's going to have to come out and be like, yes, please hand the country to me. I'm not Dr. Light. It's Dr. Wily.
You're gonna have to give the key to the world to my best friend, Dr. Wily. He's acting on my behalf.
They used to be best friends.
And I guess they are again.
He could just be like, it's all been a ruse. Dr. Light was working with me the entire time. Give me the keys to the Statue of Liberty.
Or I'll shoot!
Anyway, Roll leaves to go fight Mega Man at the Capitol, and this is the one time that Dr. Light actually lets her go. Because he's busy making his own gamer headset.
Yeah, he's got things to do.
A bunch of tanks arrive at the Lincoln Memorial to confront Mega Man, but he just melts their guns, and the rest of Light's robots arrest all the drivers.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, Roll shows up and tries to reason with him. And Wily tells him to kill her, but he's like resisting it. And I love the way she's just berating him the whole time.
She knows the way to get through to him. It's to bully him.
And then Dr. Light flies in his own helicopter and starts arguing with Dr. Wily in Mega Man's head, and he gets all confused about it.
Yeah, because there's too many voices in there.
Okay, so Roll tells him to choose the voice he knows is right. Do you remember how in the early Mega Man series they kept mistranslating Dr. Light's name as Dr. Right?
Yes.
They could have done a really good pun thing there if they kept They kept going with Dr. Wright as his name. He pretends that he's choosing Wily and asks her to play along. And then he fucking shoots down Dr. Light's helicopter.
Yeah, it was really
He
weird.
just spins around and shoots the helicopter down.
How did he know he was gonna survive that?
I was like, which one is the ruse? Is he is he pretending to side with Dr. Wily, or is he pretending not to so that he can kill Dr. Light easier?
Oh, Mega Man.
Anyway, I guess Dr. Light, we see him sort of land safely, but
Very gently, even though he completely shot out the back.
yeah, it's I don't know how Mega Man could have possibly known that he would survive that, but okay.
Damn it, Dad's alive.
Anyway, Mega Man pulls out his own mind chip and then heads back to Dr. Wily. And Magnet Man is like, oh, it's good to have you on the team. And Mega Man goes in for a high five and steals his weapon. But I love the moment their hands touch, Magnet Man just goes, he's stealing my power!
All right, Magnet Dude, give me 5.
He's getting my powers!
Yeah.
It's great. Again, no magnet bombs. He's just like pushing and pulling things with his hands.
Yeah, he just is magnets.
Yeah, he pushes Magnet Man away and then he steals Wily's gamer headset.
He commands all of his robot friends.
Yeah, all of Dr. Light's robots. These are not robot masters. These are just robots. They're so boring.
These are just grunts. Yeah.
I don't like all of the light robots here.
Well, they're not supposed to be charming boy robots. They're just workers. They don't need cute little faces.
Well, you say that, but where are the Mets? Bring me the Mets, the Metals, whatever they're called.
No.
There was one in the first episode, and then I don't think they ever appear again. Sad about it. I love those guys.
We'll just have to watch the other Mega Man and see if he's there.
Oh, we'll go watch the anime one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the OVA. I bet there's Mets in
Yeah.
there. Anyway, the Wily bots and the Light bots are having a fight, and all the Wily bots get smashed to pieces except Gutsman, who gets tied up instead.
He gets his hands melted to some beams.
He does, but then after they tie his arms together, the beams are gone.
Well, they used the beam to tie his arms together.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The welder bots softened it, and his hands got, like, stuck in it, and then they used it to wrap around him.
Okay, that does make more sense. But I was just too distracted by Mega Man and Proto Man having a brother fight.
Brother fight. Proto Man is sitting on Mega Man. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
I guess Mega Man's default weapon isn't called the Mega Buster in this show, because whenever he switches to it, he yells plasma. It's just like the plasma blaster, I guess.
I guess.
I like the name Mega Buster. It sounds
Because
cool.
it busts Mega.
Yeah. Here's the next part of the show where I absolutely lost my mind.
This was incredible.
So Proto Man wins the fight by shooting at the statue of Abe Lincoln.
Mega Man heroically throws himself in the way to save Honest Abe.
But the thing is, they never refer to it as a statue. They talk as though he's actually shooting President Lincoln.
Oh no, he's gonna blast President Lincoln!
I knew you'd risk yourself for Mr. Lincoln.
He's in there. I know he is. He talked to me.
It's so good.
It's so good. This whole thing about how Mega Man knew he was a good person because he saved the American president, Abraham Lincoln.
And then I lost my mind again immediately because Dr. Light says Mega Man is too weak to fight. And then Roll says, if only Eddie were here. At which point Eddie immediately appears heroically from nowhere.
He was in the helicopter the whole time.
I forgot Eddie was in this show. He hasn't been mentioned once in this episode until now. And then it's just like, da-da-da-da-da-da!
He gives him some Mountain Dew and he chugs it.
It's the fact that it's just like out of nowhere, if only Eddie were here, and then he suddenly appears. And I love Eddie, and I love this for him. I love that he has this heroic moment here. But it just comes out of nowhere.
There's a lot of things in this episode that just come out of nowhere.
Like, Eddie hasn't appeared since the first episode, and I'm pretty sure he had a really small role there as well. So I just completely forgot him. He's green here. He's not red like he is in the games. Also, the fact that Eddie is in this show makes me more mad that Beat is not in this show.
I think you're just gonna have to get over it.
No, I love Beat. He's great. I want all of Mega Man's pets. Where's Tango? Do you know Tango?
No, I'm looking it up. Oh, it's a weird cat.
Yeah, Tango's in like one game, and he's in the background in Dr. Light's lab, I think. He doesn't do anything, but I love him. Wait, what does he do? He's in the Game Boy game. Yeah, he's only in one of the Game Boy games, the 5th Game Boy game. And he has a cameo in Mega Man 10 and appears in the robot database in Mega Man and Base, and that's it. Yeah, that was a car.
It sure was.
Yeah, so I understand Tango not being there, but Beat should be there. I'm furious that Beat isn't there. I love Beat.
Nobody likes Beat. You're the only one who likes Beat.
Everyone likes Beat. Leave a comment if you like Beat.
Leave a comment if you hate Beat.
Like and subscribe if you like Beat. Also, like and subscribe if you hate Beat.
If you are neutral, please leave.
Leave a review if you're neutral on Beat. I will let them off on not including Otto. I love Otto, but he didn't exist yet. So I'll give them a pass.
Yeah.
I think Otto was introduced at the same time Base was. Anyway, now that he's had his radioactive Mountain Dew, Mega Man has the power to shoot a blast that overpowers Proto Man's shot, which cleanly knocks Proto Man into the helicopter, which immediately takes off once he's on
It
board.
was so good. It was so fast.
Yeah, I don't think we even see Dr. Wily again, do we? It's just like,
No.
he's just done. So Proto Man's shots are like blue, and they don't glow like Mega Man's shots, which really makes it look like he's just firing water.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it's supposed to be, but that's what it looks like. So we're at the end now.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Light is fixing his robots. Mega Man's confused about why he cared so much about Lincoln if he's just a robot. And then Light's like, "You're not just a robot. I programmed you with compassion and self-determination. The compassion to save a statue."
Right. The compassion to care about America.
I don't know if they ever have established where the games take place. I feel like they just sort of take place in generic fictional future.
Right.
But I would assume it's Japan.
One would assume.
And it's very clearly America in this show, which is strange to me. It just gives me an odd, it's like Ace Attorney.
Ace Attorney has always been in America. I
You're
don't know
right.
what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. I should eat my hamburgers.
Eat your hamburgers, Apollo. Sit down at the traditional American kotatsu.
Everybody go read Awkward Zombie. It's probably my favorite webcomic. This ending kind of fell flat to me.
Yeah.
Rush has eaten an entire box of dog treats. So Roll puts one of the control chips in his brain and tells him to behave, and then he very politely eats a dog biscuit, and then he burps, and then everyone laughs. That's the end.
Da 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 da.
Dumb!
Yeah, it was.
A bad ending, I don't think this episode was that bad.
No.
But that ending was a fart.
A wet fart.
This whole episode was stupid, and I loved it. Whenever I said I lost my mind, that's my favorite stuff to encounter.
Saving President Lincoln.
I do wish, if I'm looking at this show, and thinking what would make me unironically love this show. I wish it either raised fewer existential questions and or dealt with them in a satisfying way. I would have preferred the second
to deal
one.
with them, in a satisfying way.
Yeah, it would have, if they hadn't raised them, it would just be kind of like throwaway, and I would be like, yeah, whatever. But I would prefer. I don't dislike that it raised them. I dislike that it didn't deal with them.
Well, it's up to you to deal with it. You need to learn to process your own emotions.
How dare you? How dare you suggest that? I like this show. I like Mega Man.
Yeah.
I would like it to be better, but that's okay.
There are glimpses of goodness in it.
Yeah.
And then they're drowned out by all the weird stuff.
It to me it feels like they want to make a like deeper, more existential robot show, but they're held back either by their own skill level or by what the executives are asking from them.
I think they're probably trapped into making a wacky Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, maybe.
Something that you don't really need to think about.
Yeah. But it made me think too much about it for that. I don't think any legacy, although I did have a thought earlier about
Just one?
The legacy, about the legacy of this show in general.
Yeah.
Because this show was made before Bass was introduced. Proto Man has never really been a villain in the way that he is in this show.
Right.
And it isn't down to them not understanding who Proto Man was supposed to be. They made a deliberate choice to change Proto Man for this show because they wanted there to be a character who was a mirror to Mega Man but was on Wily's side.
Right.
And would stay on Wily's side permanently. I wonder if them wanting that for the show is what made Capcom go, hey, yeah, we should have a character like that, and then create Bass, because Bass came along like right after.
That would be funny.
Because we know Capcom were involved with the show to an extent, at least.
Yeah.
And they will have been signing off on it and stuff, so I don't know.
If this show gave birth to Bass,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty good.
If this show is what gave Inafune the thought that they should have a Mega Man mirror on Wily's side, I hope it is. I looked, and the timing does match up. This show ended like right when Mega Man 7 was coming out, which is when Bass was introduced.
Could be.
I've never been as into Bass. I like Proto Man more than Bass.
Well, duh. Proto Man's cooler.
Yeah. Bass doesn't, he's okay. I like his dog more than I like him.
Gospel?
Is it? It's treble in English, right?
Yeah.
And it's gospel in Japanese, yeah.
Sure
yeah,
is.
I like gospel. I like treble. Bass and treble are better names for them, but
Yeah.
what are they? Forte and gospel in Japan?
Yeah.
Those are good names too. I just like that bass and treble are more linked thematically. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Proto Man just has a better story. He's more interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. But Bass is like, he's there to be a villain and stay a villain.
Right. And you know what? Everybody needs a heel.
Yeah.
Proto Man was just too morally ambiguous.
Yeah. But he's my favorite. Proto Man's my favorite in the games. He's not my favorite in this show.
No, Proto Man sucks in this show.
Yeah, it's because of what they've done to It's because they have turned him into Bass.
Yeah.
And I don't like Bass that much. So, thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you like Mega Man, because you've just listened to over an hour of us talking about it.
Sorry it wasn't part 2 of Captain N.
You mean part 5 or whatever we're up to?
I mean the cliffhanger episode.
Oh, part 2 of the 3 sacred treasures.
Yeah,
storyline.
They're still trapped in hell.
Yeah, but you know, they were always in Captain N, so.
That's a different hell. This is super hell.
They're in Captain N hell. It's like 3 levels deeper than regular hell.
Right. It's a hell within a hell.
Thank you, as always, to our club VIPs, Mark Kelly and Jamie Core.
You freaks.
If you want to join them, you can head to patreon.com/superbreakfastfriendsclub and put money in our open mouths.
I was trying to think of like a piggy bank that had something like that, but nothing came to mind. There's gotta be something where you put coins in a mouth and...
Oh, absolutely. I used to have a piggy bank where you put the coin in the hand and then you like wind it up and then the hand reaches up and deposits the coin in the mouth.
That's us.
That's us.
Put it in our hand and we'll eat it.
You could also join our Patreon at the higher tier, and then you get to demand we watch the shows you want us to watch.
You can put an end to the wait and make us watch Captain N.
Or you could make us watch Yokai Watch, like everybody wants us to do.
Everybody's always demanding it.
Yeah, we should do it. I'm Skull Pirate Mike. You can find me on the internet on Blue Sky or Twitch. Right now I am playing Persona 5, and when I'm done with that, I have made a commitment to playing Chrono Trigger.
Good.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it!
Don't even try to stop me.
I need to play that game again. I love Chrono Trigger. Everyone should play Chrono Trigger!
Bye! Should we wrap up? Are we done?
Yeah? Unless you want to watch it again.
Do you wanna?
Put it on.